Hey there.
Hi, good to see you.
So we've had a number of questions about how do we work with knees and how do you avoid knee injury in yoga, especially getting into lotus posture.
Well, one thing is don't do lotus posture.
That'll avoid it.
Yeah, but you're also missing out on a very useful way of sitting for pranayama and meditation. So the cartilage in the knee can easily be crunched as you close the knee, and particularly if you pull with too much force. And so what happens often is, one, we try too hard because we think we're going to be rewarded, at least in our own
Minds.
mythology about ourselves. Oh, look at me, I can do that. Actually, not that many people really care that much that you can do it.
You care.
Yeah. But there are many great yogis who don't do lotus anymore. And so I don't know if I can make it so it's visible. So when you close your knee joint, one, it needs to close fairly far. And so sometimes the ability to actually close the knee is something that comes from practice, and as one becomes more flexible. And then as you pull the heel towards the lower belly, what we call the psoas buttons, okay, the knee joint closes, but as you want it to close smoothly so that the tibia and the femur are basically not rotating in relation to each other. So this is the, I don't know if it's illustratable. So this is the tibia, it has the flat platform.
The lower part of
the lower part.
Leg.
And this is the femur, and it kind of comes over like that. And so once they close, and so this is not being twisted, but as I close it, and then if I twist either the lower leg or the upper leg, they should move together. Okay. So if I'm inwardly rotating my femur, the tibia has to turn so it looks down at the floor at the same time. And if you create the wrong tension, you'll twist one, and then it tears the meniscus. It couldn't, and there are many things that are different that can be torn, and then that just begins the degeneration of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and it's injuring your knee in yoga, or through another activity in life is really something that will last for years sometimes. And it's very debilitating. And so you want to be very, very careful with the knees and not push it, not have that loud popping sound right after you just said, yes, I did. I did lotus pose.
And you try to walk.
Yeah, you try to walk. And so if it turns out that you have slightly injured your knee, one of the tricks is to really be careful about finding the movement so that you are having that sense of the two parts of the leg moving together rather than against one another. And it may be for a while, because if you've injured it, there may be swelling, there may be tenderness, you may have tension in your mind or in the other parts of your body as you try to go into the posture. So that you just come to the place where you begin to feel either physical pain or resistance or mental resistance or fear. And then pause at that point and breathe into that, recognizing that the knee action is impacted by whether or not your hips are open. It's impacted by what you're doing with your ankle and your foot, and many other things as well. If the foot is held in flexion as you're bringing it in to Padmasana.
Dorsal flexion.
Yeah, dorsal flexion. Then you're kind of keeping the tibia in a tight form that then doesn't allow this mobility or the fluidity in the joint to be there. So you really have to find the edge where you feel as though, oh, that's about where I need to stop. And honor that. Stop at that point rather than forcing your way through. And one of the ways we like to teach sometimes with Padmasana, with people who have not been practicing it that much, is to say, okay, do half Padmasana. In other words, bring your right foot up towards Padmasana and just put the left foot down on the floor, supporting the right knee. And sit like that or be like that for a little while. And then the next day, try the reverse. Bring the left leg up and let the right leg support the left. And what frequently happens if you do that is, you do that diligently for 6 weeks or 6 months or 6 years or whatever it takes. And then one day you're doing your practice and you're doing half Padmasana and the phone rings and you're distracted and you think, I'm not going to answer. And then suddenly you look down and because you got distracted, you have both legs in Padmasana. And that's the way Padmasana should be approached, is that it should feel so easy that you don't really even notice that you're getting into it.
Mm-hmm. And once you're in it, you can still articulate your feet in different patterns.
Mm-hmm.
And that's very helpful.
Yeah.
But it might take
a couple lifetimes.
a few lifetimes. That's true. And many, many, many older people have knee injuries, either from just life, just falling somewhere, or occasionally yoga class.
Yeah. So be careful with your knees. They're helpful to keep in good shape.
Useful.